Aragami-sama. Hey, taking a look at Aragami. I played it on PlayStation 4, but it's on some other platforms as well. I know PC, and I believe Xbox One as well. We'll find out. Good game, bad game, history lesson. Before we get into it, though, hey, support links below. Help us out. I know people don't like the handout thing. Arms for the poor. But at the same point in time, though, hey, you like what a person's doing, support them a little bit. Help them out. But Aragami is basically this. You are playing as a vengeful spirit, and you do this through stealth. Now, this is very much in the vein of Tenchu, okay? And unfortunately, I don't have the original PlayStation game for Tenchu, but I've got Fatal Shadows, Stealth Assassin, and I've got Return from Darkness, which is, I think it's the Xbox version is Wrath of Heaven on PlayStation 3. Might have a PlayStation 3 one somewhere, but I haven't indexed it in my library. That's another story. Thing about Aragami is that it's very much in step with Tenchu. It's a lot of sneaking around. It's a lot of, okay, is that guard going to turn? Is that a good path for me to do? And the more you play through it, the more you memorize guard patterns, where they're going to be, things like that. And then you can slip in, sneak in, do what you got to do, get out. Sweet. And Aragami, like Tenchu, encourages a lot of exploration because the levels are actually pretty big. They're pretty big. Earlier, not so much, but later ones are pretty big. And so you'll find something off in a corner, and then all of a sudden, poof, you get level up scrolls. You get these scrolls, by the way, and if you collect the scrolls, you can put them towards learning shadow arts. And because you are a vengeful spirit, ninja, vanish! You basically can get all sorts of different moves and stuff like that off of finding these scrolls, which is cool. I thought that was actually good. You start out basically with just a very small set of moves. You cannot attack. You can assassinate, but you cannot attack. So your small set of moves is basically, okay, you've got a shadow leap, you can create a shadow pool at one point, and those are just kind of like basic moves. But then you get into some shadow arts that are kind of cool, actually. The ones that I use the most is I did a shadow figure, which you create the shadow that just stands in the background. And guards will look at it and be like, "Are? Oh, shadow-sama." And they go up to it, and it disappears, and they're like, "Oh, andata." So it's like, okay, whatever, dude. But if you power that up, if you level it up a little further, it'll actually blind the first guard that touches it. So that was even better, because then I could sneak up on him. That was a lot of fun. And then I was playing, and I got the last thing I actually got that was not as useful was a kunai, which basically is just throwing knives. But the other one I found was a shinen, and the shinen is you can tag it on the ground, and it creates this vortex that sucks in everyone near it. Really cool. But if you tag a guard on the back, which is the powered up version of it, he can be a mobile shinen. And it was kind of fun because there's a point in my live streams where I took and I triggered the shinen, and all of a sudden I got like 4, maybe 5 guards at once because it was on the back of a guy, and I just started trolling them, so they all came around to me. It was like, and gone, and gone, and done. So that was pretty slick. There are other arts that actually can be used. There's the offensive, defensive, and just the standard arts. Standard arts don't cost you anything to use them. The offensive and defensive arts, basically those ones are the ones that are going to cost you ninja points, and your ninja points, basically, you have to stop at temples, or if you get the shadow kill, that will allow you to recharge them as well. And shadow kill, it reminds me a lot of Mortal Kombat. It's like, finish him! And like the dragon eats their head off, kind of like Liu Kang in 2. Pretty sweet, some of them. There's the dragon or the snake, and it's kind of roll the dice which one you get next. Snake just goes around him, squeezes them tight, pulls them in. Essential, by the way, if you're going to play this game, get the body disposal technique. The the shadow kill is an upgrade to that, but if you get the body disposal technique, if enemies find a body, it's and everyone's automatically on high alert. And so that really screws up your ability to get through, especially in the harder skill levels. But either way, though, your blend of shadow arts actually made the game more fun. Because near the end, you get to be so BA that even though the levels are supposed to be harder and more complex, you could really just poof around, you could create a shadow, teleport to it, then teleport to the next shadow. And as long as you're in the shadows, because you are a shadow creature, you're a spirit made of shadow, you basically can gain power. But the moment you step into the light, you lose power. It doesn't kill you, only attacks kill you, but still. It was pretty slick the way they did that, the light and dark stuff, and I had a lot of fun with this. But that's where, and I've held off until now to tell you about the story, because the game itself is a lot of fun, but the story is just forgettable. Okay, so this goddess resurrects you as a shadow warrior, and basically says, help me, help me. And so what ends up happening is that you basically have to help her regain her full power by collecting talismans for her. And when you help her collect the talismans, that's the end of the game. You know, you free the shadow goddess. Thing is, shadow goddess, whatever. She is a shadow goddess, by the way. Thing is you're fighting the armies of light, and that's all I really remember. What was cool is they do a lot of cutscenes where it's basically the Aragami remembering who he was and his interactions with the shadow goddess before he became a vengeful spirit. And so the back and forth actually was cool in a way, and it leads up to an ending that I did not see coming. I did not see it coming. So that was like, oh, I don't. The writing that way was good because I didn't see it coming, but at the same point in time, I wasn't a fan of how forgettable the whole path was. Tenchu kind of suffered from this at some points too, but I remember more of Fatal Shadows, where basically it's the back and forth between Ayane and not Rikimuru. I keep forgetting her name, but the other gal you played as, between Ayane and her, basically how they had a history together, and their history led them to be enemies, and when you're playing the game swapping back and forth, you're getting different perspectives on it. And so I found that to be rather interesting. Yeah, it's been a while since I played it, but it had more of an impact on me versus this very flat story. While it had some cool things, and it did have a trick ending, it just, excuse me, it just wasn't a great story. You won't remember it a year from now. A week from now, I'm slipping, and I beat the game, and I'm slipping to trying to remember what did I play, but that's just it. It's just a very flat story, not good, no. I don't play it for the articles, play it for the game. The game's a lot of fun. Story's crap. There's a multiplayer online. Nobody's around. I did have one person offer to play with me, and I usually like to play with friends online because I don't always know who I'm getting into a match with. I'd rather play something with a friend than I would just strangers in most cases, unless it's like team games. Because you never know. You never know when you're playing with people online. But then again, we'll see. Aragami was fun enough to say it's a good game. It's one that I would recommend playing. Is it a game that I can see people going back again and again and again? It's short enough where you can play through it multiple times, try and unlock everything, try and get everything. It's short enough to have fun with it like that, but there's no real lasting value as far as story or anything else. It's one you'll go back to. It's kind of like a Pac-Man. It's fun to play off and on, but overall, you don't see people binge playing Pac-Man. You know, it has its limits. So, would I recommend Aragami? Yeah, gamer says yeah. Parents, figure it this way. You're playing as a vengeful spirit. A little bit of demonology, necromancy, whatever you want to call it in there. So a guy comes back from the dead as a spirit, that's what you're doing. Goddesses, stuff like that, using magic, and of course, lots of killing. You have issues with any of that, obviously that's the kind of stuff you wouldn't want. I mean, that's why it carries an M rating. It really does carry an M rating. And there's blood in it too, and, you know, no gore. It's all very simplistic, and because of the styling of the game, which is more cel-shaded, it looks a little cartoony, so it softens the blow a little bit. But overall, though, I personally wouldn't have much issue with my kids seeing it. But then again, I mean, it's up to you what your perspective is on that kind of stuff. But so family friendly, so-so. Good game as far as playable. It's playable. Yes. 2 thumbs up. No. I don't see that lasting to it. So yeah. Thoughts. Moral Gamer. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Support links below, and patreon.com/moralgamer helps us out. We look forward to catching y'all next time. Thanks for watching.